The church of Saint Paraskevi of Rome, in the village of Rudare near Leskovac, is the oldest temple in that area. It was erected on the foundations of an early Christian basilica from the 5th century, at the time when the famous empress's town, Justiniana Prima, was built. During the Turkish occupation, the church in Rudare was the spiritual center not only for Leskovac but the wider vicinity as well, and to this day events are held in this compound, which gather many people. The church is dedicated to Saint Paraskevi of Rome, a Christian martyr who met her demise in the region of today's Italy in the 2nd century AD. Her cult is greatly venerated in this area. The edifice received its current looks in 1799, when it was renovated. The renovation of the temple was financed by wealthy inhabitants of Leskovac in order to resist the feudal system of the Ottoman Empire with the advanced teachings of Saint Sava. It is believed that in the time of Emperor Justinian there was a significant Christian settlement on the southern slopes of Leskovac, and this church was its part. With the arrival of Slavic tribes in late 6th or early 7th centuries, the settlement was destroyed along with its early Christian shrine. However, upon taking Christianity, the Slavs started renewing the temples, so it is assumed that the church in Rudare was rebuilt during the Nemanjić dynasty, says priest Miroslav Jovanović, the author of the monographic book about this church and former parishioner of Rudare. Back in the era, the Greek diaspora in this region had great influence, and the episcopes venerated who lived in Niš used to come frequently to Leskovac, and the church complex in Rudare was sort of their residence in these parts. The services in the church were alternating in Greek and Slavic until the late 19th century, and then the Slavic language took over because the Greek elements in Leskovac started assimilating with the majority Serbian environment. The frescoes in the church are largely damaged, mostly due to humidity. The worn-out iconostasis was mended in the beginning of the 20th century, when all deteriorated icons were taken out and replaced with new ones. They were done by a renowned icon painter of that time, George Zografsky. The skeleton of the iconostasis was renovated again 7 years ago. Maybe even more significant than the iconostasis are the frescoes we see on the walls. Some of the depictions are very rare, like for example Archangel Raphael and founder of the Egyptian Coenobitic monasticism Pachomius. Under this layer of frescoes, which were painted in 1815, there is an older layer of paintings, probably from the Nemanjić era, maybe even older. We know that from the records that have been left in certain documents, but unfortunately, that layer of frescoes is completely destroyed and cannot be reconstructed, says priest Miroslav Jovanović. After the World War I, a layer of plaster was put over the frescoes on the ceiling in an attempt to protect them, but it was done in an incompetent manner. It is now necessary to take off that layer and put the paintings on the display again. In the churchyard, many events are held, aiming to preserve and promote the traditional values, as well as to turn the public attention to the necessity of renovating this complex, which could be an important religious and tourist destination. Besides the big Paraskevi gathering on August 8th, theology contests and other holidays, when thousands of people gather here, coming even from the Serbian diaspora abroad. On the day of Vidovdan, the 28th of June, an ethno fair is held in this place. The exhibitions are put on, featuring Serbian meals and traditional folk handicrafts, while the program features ethnic dances and songs, but also known actors.